Got a DM the other day saying that she questions the Bert Show's ethics now based on me wanting to find Abby a sugar daddy.
As she should.
Look, all right, let's talk about sugar daddies here for just 1 second. It's just business, man. It's just business. Why is it ethical or not ethical? If you're going into a sugar daddy situation,
yeah,
and he knows he's a sugar daddy, and you know you're the sugar baby, and you're putting it all out there on the table, where is the ethics problem in that?
There is no ethics problem in that. However, that is not the situation we have. The ethics issue is you trying to find Abby, the sugar daddy.
What if we found you a sugar daddy?
I would love that.
Sign me up too, actually.
I would love it. Now, I didn't put any pressure on you. I suggested I thought it would be a fun bit.
Yeah,
you can back out of this thing if you want. I was going to say we got plenty to talk about. We don't.
No, I get it. I'm here for the bit, and I'm here to play my part in it, and I have no problem with it. Like, I am in the era of my life where I'm looking at my age, and I'm seeing true adulthood on the horizon. And my motto for the next couple of years is just to do the thing that you can only do at this age. Like, what's going to be weird in 10 years that you can only really pull off at 28?
All right, so you said true adulthood on the horizon. So at 28, you don't consider yourself an adult?
I think my tax guy does, and that's about it.
I'm like, when does the horizon get here for adulthood?
When does it happen for
I
you?
feel like it's like mid-30s.
Oh
I
my
feel like 35 is like when you
She's still in her
can't,
infant stage.
you like can't get away with stuff when you're in your 30s. But when you're in your 20s, it's like, haha, that's so cute. She's just figuring it out.
Look, I am much older than you, and there are times that I look at myself now going, I am still not an adult, man. But here was the thing. If you're just now listening, Abby is coming in here every day. You know, she's struggling just like a lot of you guys that are dating also, being single. And I'm like, all right, well, until Mr. Right comes along, let's get you a little bit of a reprieve, and let's try to find you a sugar daddy. And we had a couple of Bert Show listeners call up and go, hey, I know how to get this done. So we're in the process, and I do not see this as an ethical question at all. If two people are engaging in it, one is not manipulating the other, one is not saying that, hey, I love you for who you are, and so, it's so great that you're also rich. If you're not manipulating and you guys know what it's all about, I don't see the ethics problem at all. You're two adults.
And if you think that this is beneath the Bert Show, you have not been listening to us long enough. This man came on the air and said, who wants to date my ex-wife? Like, listen,
And I just want to, how did that go?
It went well.
they're together 1 year later.
They are in love, man. Okay?
So
where are we?
Don't hate the process.
So for me, I was kind of waffling. I'm like, do I really want to go through with this? And yesterday I was just having the most mind-numbing conversation with a guy my age. And I was like, yeah, let's go straight to the sugar daddies. So I called up my sugar daddy Avengers, which were some of the women that called in and said that they have experience with the sugar baby situation, sugar daddy situation. And I thought, okay, why don't I just get in contact with them? And why don't I just have a discussion on how to lure someone in? Because I'll be honest with you, I think I'm still kind of wavering in my confidence and wanting to like go sit at a bar and start seeking out someone who looks like Bill Belichick.
All right, so we need the bat signal. We need to assemble the sugar babies, the sugar baby Avengers.
Yes, we don't have the Avengers bed necessarily ready, though. Do we? We do not.
So here's me putting out the bat signal to the sugar babies. I'm just waving up a couple of hundreds in the air, and they came running enough.
That's the signal.
I think so. So I texted one of them. I actually texted both of them, and then I had a conversation with one of them. And I just said, hey, blank, this is Abby from the Bert Show. Do you have a few minutes to chat? Sugar daddies, I have a couple questions for you. And she's like, hey, let's chat.
Text message. This is somebody that you honestly don't know.
No, I don't. And you know what's so funny is both of the text messages I got from both women, they're both green. So I'm like, are these your burner phones? Like, you don't want me to track them down. But I was just laughing at myself. I was like, I have friends that are like having business conversations over LinkedIn. And here I am on a business call asking about how I can get an old man to pay my rent.
You got a college degree for this.
I went to a top university to talk about sugar daddies.
I know we're focusing on older dudes, but if it was a younger guy, let's say it was a guy in his 30s, 30s, right? That didn't have any interest in all of anything romantic, but had the same requirements, right? But he was your age. Would that also be considered a sugar daddy?
Oh, I don't know. This is a philosophical question I don't have answers to.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a minimum on sugar daddy. It's just more so that you providing the sugar, right?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
Sugar provider.
Yeah, that's it.
But then what if I just like date a guy who happens to be rich? Then we would just call that true love.
Right, but you're going
If
into
you loved them.
Yeah, if you loved him. Like,
Right.
this is a business. So he would be saying, you'd be saying, like, yeah, let's hang out. You're rich. You're paying for everything. And he's like, I'm fine with that.
Right. A sugar daddy is typically defined as an older, often wealthy man who provides financial or material support to a younger person, typically a woman, in exchange for companionship or intimacy or sexual hormones.
Yeah,
What's
we're-
older? Because Abby ain't even a teenager yet.
I'm just a girl. Okay, so I basically just texted her and I said, how did you find them or how did they find you? Because I believe I think it's the girl I'm messaging that said that she just had like virtual relationships where she didn't have to do anything. So I'm like, how do I just let them come to me? And this is what she said. She said, I made a profile on Seeking Arrangements and I met a lot of great, good looking, wealthy men. I found some of them to be annoying or boring, so I took my time with it. My profile picture was a full body silhouette photo, backlit in dim lighting so you couldn't see my face. All other pictures, including my face, were private and they had to request to see them. I kept my bio short and sweet about my personality. They want to know you can hold a conversation with you. Normally the nice or green ones start with chit chat. I would keep your profile age 27 or under. I can't remember your age in parentheses. I'm 28. The
Man, you're 28. You already got to lie about your age.
I was like, oh my God, maybe I am old. The site is very sketchy, though. You'll really have to sort through the bums and men in relationships. They won't tell you, but there's always signs on their page that they're in a relationship. And I said, first of all, I said, I'm 28. I'm too old. And then I said, a sign as in a literal sign or subtle signs to look out for. And she said, in person, in general, I like going to upscale restaurants, usually alone. I noticed those types of men would frequent the bar for an early dinner between 5 and 7 p.m. They won't approach you if you're with other people. This sugar daddy I had also had a sugar baby before, so he took me on dates a lot in the beginning. I would go to his events and he would take care of whatever I needed or wanted. We also went on vacation alone. Because it felt like dating and he was very attractive, it didn't feel weird. The green sugar daddies are so nice and honestly bored themselves. And this one really got me. She said, I'm also 30, but I noticed the 2 times I sought out a sugar daddy, it got more attention when I said I was younger. Also, word on the street between men is, quote unquote, we listen better when we're under 27. LOL. I don't listen at all, though. I just smile.
Wow.
That is so creepy.
And some of the signs she said to look out for when you're trying to figure out if they're in a relationship, she said literal and subtle signs, crop photos where there's clearly a woman in the picture, a wedding band, quote unquote, needs to be discreet, wants to schedule late meetups. They take selfies in grungy spaces like a janky car or a dirty bathroom. The mirror selfie phone or pictures super old or only talk to you like a prostitute. I only slept with one of them, but we were seeing each other months before and I was down. And then she ended this. And lastly, don't get an ugly sugar daddy.
A lot of science to find in a sugar daddy.
Even money can't make you good looking, man.
this sounds like too much work.
It does. Well, it's almost like a side hustle.
Yeah.
It kind of is. I mean, I don't mind posting up at the St. Regis between 5 and 7 p.m. I'll just, I'll come up and I'll just look really hot and we'll see if anyone comes my way.
It's a lot of work, man.
It's just a side gig.
The Bert Show.